Hello everyone, I'm Avenger Green, and I'm here to bring you the full story of Ultimate Invasion. A new Ultimate Universe is starred within this 4-issue prequel comic, so let's see what kind of universe has been created, as well as my thoughts and theories on where this new line can go. So, issue 1 starts off in the main 616 universe, where we see that sometime after his last appearance, the Maker, or the aka the evil Reed Richards, from the previous Ultimate Universe, has been imprisoned by the Illuminati. But this is the version of Reed we're talking about, so he manages to escape, steal some stuff, talk to Miles, and manages to assemble his latest project. What is his latest project? Well, it's a portal to a new reality designated as Earth 6160, or 616, or 6160, where the Marvel heroes are about to make their debut in the modern day. However, the Maker decides to travel through time and stop the heroes from coming into existence as we know it, as we see when he stops a radioactive spider from biting a young version of Peter Parker. Now, this is actually important for the kind of tone and style Jonathan Hickman seems to be going for the creation of this new Ultimate Universe. The original kind of played down some of the more fantastical elements. For example, the spider that bit Ultimate Peter in the original comic was a biologically altered spider, but this seems to be leaning more towards the classic origin and with a modern twist. So, moving on, issue 2, we actually see more of the results of the Maker's time-altering plans, which includes striking a deal with Loki to keep the Asgardians out of Earth's business, the Fantastic Four never getting their powers, and pretty much everyone but Reed dying, making sure the partnership between Howard and Obadiah Stane never goes south, seemingly altering the bomb that turns Bruce Banner into the Hulk, and seemingly making Captain America disappear. So, speaking of Howard Stark, he actually serves as our main POV character from here on out. In this new timeline, Howard is Iron Man, while still partnered with Stane, and Tony is a lot younger than you would expect. And Howard does have some kind of the same arrogant mannerisms as you would expect from Tony, but things start to change when he makes Stane agree to let him come to a meeting with the big movers and shakers of this new world. These players include the Hulk, who is now a monk-like spiritual leader, and some important mutants like Sunfire and Colossus is now as leaders of Japan and Russia respectively, and the Maker himself. But the party is crashed when an army of Avenger clones attack. And during this crazy big brawl, Stane ends up being killed, and Howard wakes up to see that the Maker has managed to capture the Avengers clones. And because the Maker is still a bastard, he tracked down the modern day people whose DNA would serve as templates for these future clones, and has them killed, causing the clones to melt into goo. So, yeah, basically someone from the future is attacking the Maker in the present day, but they can only seemingly travel across the timeline of Earth 6160. And since the Maker isn't from Earth 6160, they can't just go back in time and erase the Maker from existence. He also shows Howard the Immortus engine, the time machine he used in order to travel through time and change this Earth's history to his design, and he wants Howard to fix it. Now, issue 3 is the one that really propels Howard's character arc. With Obadiah Stane dead, Ed Howard needs to take his place as the Stane/Stark tech rep at the big meeting and with the Maker's allies. And it's here we see some horrific revelations about the state of the world. Mainly, that the big powers of the world take turns about which nation acts as the rogue nation, aka the enemy of the world, in order to keep the common man occupied with conflict. Since the Maker believes that humanity is incapable of accepting true peace and inaction. And it keeps them occupied so that that the Maker and his crew can manipulate the world behind the scenes. It's basically the bastardized, horrific version of Great Man Theory. Now this horrific revelation, as well as a heart-to-heart he has with Tony, is what sets Howard down a path of being a hero and trying to take the Maker down along with this messed up world he's created. If so only Tony, his future can be his own to make. And to do this, Howard agrees to work on fixing the Immortus engine alongside the 6160 version of Reed Richards, who the Maker has imprisoned and wearing a Dr. Doom mask in a bit of twisted irony. And we end the issue by seeing that the one sending the Avenger clothes to the future, onto the past, is none other than a new Ultimate version of Kang the Conqueror, though he looks a bit more like Iron Man. And that's actually relevant for issue 4. Now, the final issue of this mini-series, it shows Howard and Reed quickly becoming friends, and Howard swaying Reed to his side in order to get one up on the Maker. They end up fixing up the Immortus engine and also setting their own plan into motion and to try and stop him. And when the Maker asks if he's ultimately going to side with him or the guy that's attacking from the future, Howard gets this awesome line. "He's a monster, you're a monster. I am so tired of choosing between which monsters are more acceptable. You don't deserve me. You deserve each other." And with Howard and Reed disabling the city's temporal shields, Kang and his Avengers were able to attack the city in full force, leading to one last big brawl. And hey, we even get to see a new version of the Children of Tomorrow, so that's neat. And then Reed reactivates the shield, trapping the Maker, Kang, their forces, and Howard inside the city. We get a really big, really cool brawl where Ultimate Reed, aka the Maker, and this new King end up fighting. I think it's a revelation about how King was able to injure or Maker Reed before. And it ends with Howard seemingly killing both the Maker and King, while the city is being locked in a temporal shield for the foreseeable future, leaving the Maker's allies confused about what to do. The story begins to slow down a bit after that, and come to an end where we see that Doom Reed, he has been helping, he is now helping Tony. He built a new suit of armor that incorporates the Immortus engine. And this suit of armor is called the Iron Lad armor. And if you know anything about Kang lore from the main 616 universe, this means that Ultimate Kang is probably a future/alternate version of Tony. And in the epilogue, as Howard's final letter to Tony tells him about how it's never too late to change the world around for the better, we see the Iron Lad and Doom Reed traveling to the past and fighting Captain America. So, that was Ultimate Invasion. What I think of it? Well, I've been a fan of Hickman writing Ultimate Comics since I first read Ultimate Thor way back when, and I even got more hooked when he wrote the first 12 issues of Ultimate Comics Ultimates. He's a guy who always brings his A game when it comes to world building, which is amped by his habit of adding appendix pages that adds more detail to the setting. His dialogue is meaningful, but I do tend to think it suffers a bit from feeling stiff when the characters are mostly these serious scientists, big thinkers, or then philosophers. However, considering he's going to be writing Ultimate Spider-Man, maybe we'll see more variety in his dialogue, since he's writing characters like Johnny Storm in The Thing, so he can do a bit more lighthearted dialogue. Should also go without saying that the artwork of Bryan Hitch, it's just gorgeous as well. The man basically pioneered big cinematic superhero action, and way back when he first drew the Authority and the Ultimates. I don't think he's lost his touch at all. I can see these pages being used as someone's screensaver. Plus, I love his Kang design. And admittedly, that means his artwork isn't as stylized as I tend to like, but hey, when you look at a Bryan Hitch page, you can't mistake his art for anyone else's. Now, the big thing I can see splitting people's opinions is the ending. It doesn't really feel like it sets a clean slate for the new line of Ultimate Comics, which Hickman has said in interviews that it's meant to be a fresh start for new versions of the classic Marvel heroes. It does feel like a big 4-issue prelude, and that Ultimate Universe one-shot coming November is probably going to be doing more of the heavy lifting and as well as setting the stage and painting a bigger picture of what's to come for this line. So what I'm thinking we're dealing with is some divergent timeline shenanigans. Take the time traveling of the Dragon Ball Z Cell Saga as an example. After all, the current state of Earth 6160 only exists because the makers screwed with the timeline. My theory is that the November one-shot is going to be Iron Lad and Doom Reed fixing the timeline and making Earth 6160 resemble how it was supposed to be before the maker went back and changed anything. After all, keeping Earth 6160 the way it is now means that several key heroes like the Fantastic Four, the Hulk, and Peter Parker are kind of off the table for their own books. But then again, Hickman can always just go, yep, this new weird status quo is how the new Ultimate Marvel Universe is going to start. Deal with it. That's the beauty of Jonathan Hickman. It's writing. Regardless of whether or not the conclusion is satisfying or disappointing, the man is a master of making you intrigued and wondering what the hell he's going to do next. So, yeah, I enjoyed Ultimate Invasion, and I'm definitely excited for the rest of this new Ultimate Comics line. It might be my own bias towards Jonathan Hickman mixed with my nostalgia for Ultimate Comics, but I think we're in for a treat with this new series of books. And if you want to see more complete coverage of Ultimate Marvel, give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification button so you always know when I upload a new video. Until next time, have a great day.